everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel. So around last week, we all know AFL CEO 𝐐𝐤 𝐿 has announced that he's stepping down as AFL CEO. This has now sparked a lot of questions and attention of who is going to be the next CEO, and also it's given a lot of people ideas of what they would do if they were CEO. What would they change in the AFL? So I thought I might as well make this little video today of 10 things I would do if I were AFL CEO. What would I change? What would I alter? What would I add to the AFL competition? If you're going to enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, be much appreciated. And let's kick it off with my list of 10 things I'd do if I were AFL CEO. So the first thing I'll do if I were AFL CEO is I would bring back Heritage Round for all clubs to participate in. Of course, there are clubs like Port Adelaide and the Swans that have brought back like their Heritage Guernseys with the red V and the black bars and white bars. But I think that if I was AFL CEO, I'd just bring back the whole thing. Meaning that a full Heritage Round would contain each AFL team bringing back their own Heritage jersey from a particular time slot, like the 1980s or 70s. Goal umpires wearing the old, the white coats and the white hats. Umpires wearing the old white uniforms too. It'd just be, so good. A lot of people have agreed that they do miss Heritage Round too, and I thought, let's just bring it back, bring back, the old vibes and all that whatnot. And so far, that would probably be one of the things that I do, bring back Heritage Round in the AFL. The second thing I'll do if I were AFL CEO is just get the Tassie team the foot down, get it going. Let's get it established. It's been in conversation for quite a while. It's looking like it is going to happen over the next 10 years. But simply, if I got the top job, just get it going. Get the stadium developed. Roof Stadium looks to be a really good option. Of course, many of you have probably seen Andy Maguire's plan about it, of what he would do. He talked really well about the things that he would do. Get the stadium going, get the fan base and all that whatnot going. And just put the foot down. Get the team name going. All the colours, all the Guernseys, get a bit more funding and development in Tasmania too. It's just, I really do want to see a team in Tasmania personally, just as soon as possible. I think the fans down there, I know there's a lot of fans that support Victorian clubs and whatnot, but just having one down there, getting a 17th team going is something that I do pretty much right away. One of the first things I'd do. Of course, you'd want to get a 20th team going, like one in NT, for example, to avoid constant buys every single round. But I think it's a really good step forward if we get a Tassie team, if I get a Tassie team going straight away. So that'd be the second thing I'd do, get a Tassie team going as soon as possible. Third thing I'd do if I were AFL CEO is to promote the game more internationally. This is a bit of a conversation where people are like, no, don't do this, we want to keep it our own sport, which I totally agree. But I feel that the concept of AFL is such an amazing and entertaining game. You're seeing more foreigners and especially viewers on my channel, like American people and European people, get around AFL a lot more. They're finding it and think, how have I not found this sport before? And that just made me think, if I had the top job, I would try and put a lot more funding into promoting the game a bit more internationally. We of course all know that there's small leagues in Europe and America, and there's small teams there, but I'd just get the funding up a bit and promote the game more over there. More people would enjoy it, more people would play it over there, and it'd be like a bit more of better and more amateur competitions over there. I do agree, I don't think it should be nearly as big internationally as it is in Australia. It should be the biggest thing kept in Australia, but letting other people internationally know that, hey, this is AFL, come try it. And that's probably one of the main things I'd do if I were AFL CEO. Promote the game more internationally. Next thing I'd do if I were AFL CEO is I would bring back the Friday night time slots from 7:50 PM to around, 10 past 7 or 7:20. I know it's a bit of a petty thing when a lot of people hear this, but I just feel that Friday night, 7:50 PM is just too late, I feel, because the game finishes near 10 o'clock. While it's 30 minutes earlier, it just feels a bit more better as it finishes around, 9:30 games. I think a handful of people do agree with it though. It just, it quite simply, I can't really explain it any other way. It just simply feels way too late, a 7:50 PM time slot. It's Friday night, people want to see the game earlier. There's no need to play it later or all that whatnot. They want to see the games early as possible. Not around 6:30, because that's when people have dinner. People have their dinner, and then 7:10, 7:20, I just feel is a lot more better of a time slot for Friday games. So that's another thing that I would do if I were AFL CEO. Bring back the Friday game time slots by around 30-40 minutes. Next thing I would do if I were AFL CEO, I want to create an award, and that award is just a Defender of the Year award. Of course, we all know defenders do not get enough recognition where it comes to awards. You've got the Brownlow Medal, Player of the Year award, all that stuff, the Coleman Medal for pretty much forwards, but you don't have a Defender award. And of course, we know on the bounce, Danny Frawley saw this problem, and that's why he created the Golden Fist, which is a fun little award on the bounce each week. But I feel that I'd really want to put the foot down and create an actual prestigious Defender of the Year award. There's many different ways to judge the recipient of a Defender of the Year award, such as the defender with the most Brownlow votes, maybe a defender with combined the most intercept marks, and spoils, but I feel it should be done by a panel of probably former defenders, because they judge it the best, and just see who has been the best defender. Could be a key back, could be a third tall, could be an intercepting defender. I just feel that the defenders need to get more recognition, and a Defender of the Year award could be named after a great defender, like maybe Dustin Fletcher or something. Just want to get one going. Need to show more recognition for those defenders. Next thing I'd do if I was CEO, going along with the creating award ideas, is I'd create a Comeback Player of the Year award. This is done in the NFL, I believe, where it's typically given to a recipient who has come back from injury or come back from a massive delay of being out of the game, and they come back and just simply produce a very good season, and they win, or a chance to win, a Comeback Player of the Year award. I feel like this should be brought into the AFL. We're seeing many players come back from major knee injuries like James Sicily, players coming back from depression and concussions like Paddy McCartan, and so far they've had very good seasons, and I just feel it again, similar to defenders, it needs more recognition. AFL is such a physically demanding sport, and it's just no worse with a player going down with a season-ending knee injury or breaking a leg or any other major injury, and the rehab they have to do to come back, make sure the knee's all good or whatever they injured, and for them to come back and have a magnificent season feeling like their knee or whatever the injury was is perfectly fine. It needs more recognition. There needs to be a Comeback Player of the Year award, I feel, and yeah, that's another thing I'd do if I were AFL CEO. Next thing if I had the AFL top job is a bit of a controversial one, but I think many people can agree. I'd just get rid of the stand rule. I feel that I'm sort of on the fence with it, but now more when I think about the stand rule in the AFL, I'm leaning towards more of just getting rid of it. Quite simply, it just ruins the flow of the game. When you're called there just to stand, you can't move around, you're stuck in one position. I feel like it just ruins the free-flowingness of the game. The momentum's going, racing through your heart. It's a fast-paced game, and when you, let's say, trying to run towards the defender to make the mark, you want to be moving around left and right as long as you're not moving forward. But for me, just standing there stale, it just ruins the flow of the game, and that's one of the probably first things I'd do if I were the AFL CEO, try and get rid of the stand rule, and by next year, completely gone. So that's another thing I'd do if I were AFL CEO, just get rid of that bloody stand rule. The 8th thing I'd do if I were AFL CEO is I would confirm that the AFL Grand Final will only be played in daytime slots, not twilight. Lock it and throw away the bloody key. The thoughts of a twilight night Grand Final, get out of here. I'm not interested. The AFL Grand Final, again, it's a conversation where it's pretty controversial, but I agree that an AFL Day Grand Final is the best time to have a Grand Final. It's just a tradition thing now because it's been a day grand final for so many years, and now for it to be a twilight grand final these last 2 years, it just doesn't feel right. I feel personally that the atmosphere of a day grand final is just so much better when the final siren goes and when the celebrations happen. That's at a lovely sunset and twilight around then. That's when the celebrations happen. But when the celebrations happen with a twilight grand final, it doesn't feel right. It's like pitch black. You don't really have as much time if you're the winning team to celebrate because it's like 9 o'clock at night. Just feels so unnatural. It feels almost Americanized. That's pitch black. Of course, like the Super Bowl, for example, is pitch black when it's celebrations. It might sound like a bit of a petty thing, but it's just what I'm feeling. And honestly, that'd be probably the first thing I'd do. I would just confirm that the AFL is sticking with a daytime slot. None of this bloody twilight crap. Get out of town. And yeah, that's another thing I'd do if I were AFL CEO. Keep it a day grand final. 9th thing I'd do if I were AFL CEO, this needs bloody fixing up, is to fix up the bloody match review panel and the tribunal. Too inconsistent. No matter if you're an expert, a new fan, an average fan, it is simply just does not make sense how some players can get off whilst other players who are probably less established players doing or committing less serious offences on the footy field, those are the players that do get suspension rather than the other players. Of course, there is all the chat of players like, Selwood, Buddy Franklin being quote-unquote protected, and I'd probably agree with that the more higher end and established players kind of do have that getting off niche. But at the end of the day, if I were the AFL CEO, I'd just get it sorted, get it more consistent. No matter how good you are, no matter how established you are, every single player should be on an even playing field of judging if a player should be suspended or not. Of course, we all know Paddy Ryder got 2 weeks for his bump. Willie Rioli got off. It's just too inconsistent. If you compare the tape to like Tim English, the bump on Blakey, and Paddy Ryder, the bump on Will Day, it was pretty much the same, for goodness sake. And Paddy Ryder gets 2 weeks while English doesn't even get a sniff. It's just simply way too inconsistent. It needs fixing up. It needs to be, you look at it, you look at the other, it should be the same or close enough the same kind of penalty. So yeah, that's a major thing that needs to be fixed regardless. But that's one of the things I would do if I were the AFL CEO. Just fix up that bloody match review panel and tribunal. And the last thing I'd do if I were the AFL CEO is I would just get rid of those repetitive round 1 fixtures. There's only really one, and it is Richmond versus Carlton. And a lot of people probably don't really give a shit. They think, nah, just leave it. It's a bit of tradition now. But I don't know. It's just repetitive. That's quite simply what it is. It's just sick. I'm just sick of each year watching Richmond versus Carlton. Typical. I think it should just be randomised fixtures as it is for all the other games. And of course, this year we did see a grand final rematch. Even though that's so awesome to see, I just feel round 1, it's just too soon. Because when you really think about it, a grand final occurs in September, and then the next match, it's the same game, a grand final rematch. Those are games that, of course, need to be very entertaining and to be cherished. And for it to be round 1 straight away, it just feels like it's spoiling us too much a bit. It should be later, like round 5, round 6. We've got to wait longer for it to be more and more of an exciting matchup. Just more of a build-up, I feel. It just, yeah, it feels like we're too spoiled seeing it round 1. So yeah, that's the thing I do. It's, again, pretty petty thing. It's a very controversial topic of getting rid of the Richmond-Carlton game, but that's what I do. Just get rid of that tradition, because it's annoying. Just seeing it every single year, and just not do a grand final rematch. I'd probably, it's agree to disagree. I wouldn't mind if it was a thing, but again, I'd rather just randomise the round 1 fixtures and save the grand final rematch to a later date. And yeah, that's another thing I'd do if I were AFL CEO. Get rid of the repetitive round 1 fixtures. So everybody, there were 10 things that I would alter, change, remove, add to the AFL if I were the AFL CEO. If you went on to enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. That'd be much appreciated. I guess I'll leave the message of thank you, Gill, for an awesome time of the AFL CEO. Yeah, was pretty good, and to be fair, credit to him. Throughout that whole COVID situation, he kept the game running, or tried to keep the game running, and he did a top job. So it's interesting to see who will be the next CEO. I wouldn't mind Brendan Gale, the former Richmond CEO. He would be a decent shout. So yeah, thank you for watching, everybody. Hopefully you did enjoy, and I'll talk to you later. See you later, fellas.